fighting the battle against corruption. They were addressing an audience of young people. And my increasing feeling is all media, they want to sell. Because every news item is followed by an advertisement, and the advertiser will give you 2 crores or 3 crores only because his market survey tells him that people have watched that particular advertisement. Right? Therefore, the more people watch, and generally people who watch this kind of rubbish are young people, sadly. Therefore, the whole thing was geared in such a way that you can grab the attention of 18 to 25-year-old on a certain level of IQ. With the result that media begins to manipulate and treat news in a certain way. In Britain, there is also a target audience, but it's not the young, because it's an aging population. So play to the prejudices of the over 60s and over 70s. That's one thing. And secondly, I think in this case, the media played a role, different media played a different role. But if the riot started, because there was one black man called Mark Dugan who was shot dead in his car, and the police said they shot him because he had fired the first shot. And later it turned out that the police were not telling the truth. The man had not fired. It did so happen that he had a toy gun, but it wasn't a real gun. That gave the police the excuse to shoot him. But they had also been trying to arrest him for other reasons, and he had been escaping them. And then the whole thing got out of control. And what Britain revealed, and that is very interesting, when the riots broke out, I don't know if this happens in our country to the same degree or not, but when riots broke out, people stormed into shops, and even middle-class people, including teachers and some university lecturers, helped themselves with a bottle of whiskey or a radio or a mobile. About 1,400 people were arrested, and there was instant justice, so the courts sat all night, 24 hours, and things had to be handled quickly. And when we began to hear the cases of these people, the Prime Minister was so angered and saddened that he said, I have never seen such moral depravity in human beings. Just for the fun of it, you broke glass, walk into a shop, collect it and go. And people helping each other out. There was one case where a man walked into a shop, got a bottle which he thought was a bottle of whiskey, went out, he found it was water, he went back, put it back. Now the media role was, of course, to report this, but also the opposite, which is to create a climate in which these people, some of whom were economically hard placed, because the unemployment rate is very high. Others had nothing to do with economic considerations, were simply guided by moral depravity. And I think the media's role was to create a climate in which everyone was attacked as greedy, lawless, and so on. With the result that the influence of the judiciary was very profound. And one must not forget this. The judges had to give instant justice within 2 or 3 hours, sitting up all night or late into the night, dealing with cases like this, and the pressure on them was such that the harshest possible judgments in Britain's history were meted out. So there was one guy who had stolen a bottle of water. He was locked up for 6 months. And there are countless cases like this. A guy helped himself with a bottle of whiskey, young lecturer, poor whiskey, he's in jail for 9 months. Now it's a hard whiskey he's going to have to drink when he comes back. But the point is that you can put this kind of pressure on the judiciary where ordinary norms get neglected. Because the climate is one of revenge. Teach them a lesson.